on board Royal Caribbean's Odyssey of the Seas, the newest ship in Royal Caribbean's fleet. We are coming to you today to give you the full and complete ship tour. We're going to take you around the vessel, show you absolutely everything that we can. Let's head down to the bottom and work our way up as we always do. So we hope you'll join us as we tour Royal Caribbean's Odyssey of the Seas. Alright, as you can see, the lowest deck that we have available to us is deck number 2, and just two things on this deck that are going to concern us: the boarding area, like the gangway for when you're in port, and the medical center. So we actually are in port today. They're getting the gangway set up right now, but that's pretty standard fare, like you would come to expect. But we can turn this way and follow these signs towards the medical center. Now we are at the midship or rear, some people call it elevator and stairs. Just to give you a point of reference, just follow the green cross signs for the medical center and you'll find it back right here. So waiting room, crew room, testing room, all of that here on deck 2. Again, just off the midship elevators and stairs, and then you can also follow the signs for the gangways. Just go through there and then they would have those set up. So that is it for deck 2, just the two gangways if they have both of them operating, and then the medical center. That does it for 2. Let's head up to deck 3. Okay, up on deck number 3 now. We do actually have quite a few things to show here. You will see here at the forward part the Royal Theater, but it does say access from deck 4. So we're going to get to that in just a little bit. We are still back here at the midship elevators and stairwells. So we'll see that there's only one thing in the back of the ship, that is the main dining room. So let's turn and go take a look at that. You'll see here we do have the signs. This ship's very good about pointing out where things are with different kinds of signage and designating what it is when you've arrived. Main dining room. This is a multi-tiered main dining room, and I do love the digital artwork they have as you enter. So you come right through here. Again, this is deck 3, the first level of the main dining room, and so you can check in here at these little kiosks. Hello, and then they will escort you to your appropriate table and seating area. And I'm not going to walk around the whole dining room. It's pretty standard tables and chairs. They do have windows, of course, on either side. I do love this chandelier here, I guess you could call it, in the middle. Beautiful artwork there. They do have some digital artwork in the back as well. So it looks like that this is a 3-tiered dining room, and that would be pretty common. That's a pretty routine setup, but that's actually a little bit deceiving. What you're seeing up there, that 3rd level, is not part of the main dining room, even though it's open. We're going to get to that in just a little bit. What you're going to focus on here is the level we're on now and the level above. Both of those are the main dining room. But now we're going to turn and walk forward and see the rest of deck 3. And as we continue forward just outside the dining room, it seems like a good time to point out that they do have these Wayfinder touch boards here. So anytime you need some basic information about the day, like the port or the weather, upcoming events, they have those. But you can also click the main menu, and then that will bring up the board you can choose from. So you can put in your destination on the ship. It can tell you where to go, how to get there, help you find your stateroom or restroom, different things like that, different venues available. So those are always located right here next to the elevator bay or the stairwell. So again, proceeding forward now on deck 3, just to give you an idea on the map, we just showed the main dining room back here at the elevators and stairwells. So the next thing we're going to enter is Casino Royale. We will enter Casino Royale. The casino is open right now, so I'm not going to really stop and film it in detail. Just kind of going to do a walkthrough here. You do have a stairwell that goes up back to the Royal Esplanade there, and of course you do have plenty of slot machines. They have a bar in here, of course table games, poker, roulette, craps, blackjack, and of course they have a cashier, cages area. They do have ATMs in here in case you do need to get cash. You can do that there. And yeah, just lots and lots and lots and lots of slot machines. It is a mixed use area, so smoking is cool in here. They're not blocking that off from anything. And I don't even believe it's divided into halves or anything like on Oasis of the Seas. I think it is just what it is. So we do have a Paradise lotto drawing as well, per the usual, and Keymaster, video poker, things like that. Typical stuff you would expect. But as we exit Casino Royale, we will find Music Hall. So Music Hall is a mixed use space. You can do trivia in here. They do have karaoke at night, some live performances. So there's 2 levels here. This is the downstairs. You do have the bar right when you come in there, and this fun artwork with the statues right here. Yeah, getting ready for some trivia right now. Love the diamonds.
Make some noise if you're excited for this trivia!
We'll see the upper deck when we head up to deck 4. So stepping back out of Music Hall by Casino Royale, I just wanted to point out that they do have some cool seating through this area. Some nice cool couches, artwork, things like that. I love the lamp with the crazy lampshade, the lip art. Lots of fun stuff through this area. And this just proceeds. So you can come from the casino, or you can come from Music Hall, and you can wrap around here. And then this is another entrance to Music Hall, though it does say no entry currently. You can find that there. Alright, so now we have seen Casino and the Music Hall. You see the theater here on the map, but as it says, access from deck 4. So we have completed deck number 3. Let's head up to deck 4, see that theater and the rest. Okay, up on deck number 4 now. We are at the forward elevators and stairs, and of course lots of things to see on this deck. So right when we turn and we head all the way forward, on either side, port or starboard, we will find the entrance to the Royal Theater, which of course is the main theater on board. It is currently closed. However, we have visited the theater during our sailing for a performance, so we'll put in a shot of that right now. And there you go, that's the Royal Theater. You enter here on deck 4, or the upper level is on deck 5. So right next to the entrance to the Royal Theater on the starboard side, we will find the Diamond Club, and of course this is the lounge on board for Crown and Anchor Society members who have reached Diamond level, or Diamond Plus, or Pinnacle, which we actually just did. This is our first cruise being Diamond, so we can actually, for the first time during one of these ship tours, head inside. So you just need to tap your SeaPass card here, get the green and the click on the door, and we can head right inside.
Good morning.
Hello. So right when we come in, we have the concierge desk here. Can help you take care of some reservations or things of that nature. And as we turn here, we'll see we have lots of tables and chairs, couches. Of course they have windows all along, so you get some nice natural light in here. And the seating just continues on around. You have a television here. It's usually just playing standard Royal Caribbean information on it, but they do also have doors here and on the other side to enter into the upper level of the music hall. Right next to the concierge desk is they do have a food lineup. They'll have different hors d'oeuvres or snacks or breakfast items at various times of the day, like fruit, meats, cheeses, parfaits, pastries, donuts, bread. They do have juices, and they do have a specialty coffee machine there as well. So right next to the elevator bay forward here on deck 4, we will find the upper deck entrance, the upper level of Music Hall. So up here you're gonna have a lot of what you would expect, tables and chairs, things like that. You can see down into the main stage and performance area down below. Over here we do have some billiards tables. There's 2 on this side, 1 on the other side that I'll show you in just a minute. And those are the 2 doors to enter back into the Diamond Lounge that we saw just a little bit ago. And as we proceed through here, see we have the bar, upstairs bar, full service bar here, and then the chairs and seating and tables and all that just continue along. They do have the TVs here on Anthem. They would broadcast whatever was happening downstairs up here on the televisions, but I haven't seen that yet on this ship. It's only been this music hall logo, which is fun in its own right. And on this side we'll find more tables and chairs, windows to look out, and then the other billiards table. And you can continue on, and you can exit on this side as well. We're actually going to head back and exit where we came in right over there. So right outside the upper deck entrance to Music Hall, we turn and we find, picture this, the photo studio. I actually haven't seen this door open at all. I'll show you another way to get into it in just a second. But as we wind our way back around here, what we'll find is the port side entrance to the Royal Theater straight up there. And then we start finding all of our shopping on board. So Solera Beauty, Chanel, you know, different things, high-end jewelry, fragrances, cosmetics, things like that. And this will just continue on down. But before we head that way, just want to turn back really quick and show unboxed, stocked for adventure. We saw this on Oasis of the Seas as well. So these are vending machines that you can use to get various items that you might need, different toiletries or medicine. They even have some minor electronics in here, like headphones and charging cables, things like that. So it is closed right now because we are at port. So even though it's a vending machine, you still can't buy things here when you're in port. That's important to know. But when it is open, you just touch the screen, choose the item you want, and tap your SeaPass card there to pay, and it will dispense those items. It works really, really well. This was the entrance that I was talking about that I saw to the photo studio. So you see it's very, very small in here, just a couch and a backdrop and all the lighting and camera equipment. But that is one of the photo studio spots on board. Now we will turn back here, head back out, and head to the left towards the midship section. So turning from unboxed and heading towards midship, we'll find that the music hall decor continues on out here, including this rather large couch chair thing, which is pretty cool. And then our shopping is going to continue along the port side. Again, sunglasses, jewelry, bags, higher end clothing, things like that. So this is going to be kind of your, I call it like the fancy stretch of shopping in this section. Watches, things like that. You just keep going here, and it goes on and on and on. And then I think the last kind of bit of it is here at the Regalia. Again, all the stores are closed because we are in port, but this is where you would find all of those high end. There is additional shopping in the rest of the Esplanade here, but we'll get to that in just a bit. Wanted to turn back here and show a couple of different items across from these stores. So first of all, there is another entrance to the upper deck of Music Hall. When you turn next to that, you will find the Crown and Compass Pub. You notice it says food and drink, and that is the case. They do serve food here. We've had some that's actually very, very good, but it is a pub, standard pub, dark woods, bench seating, bar stool seating. You can also enter it from the main section of the Royal Esplanade over here. So there's actually an entry point there, right next to the stage. I have acoustic guitar or something like that, usually in the evening. But you see the tables and chairs out here, the barrels with the stools, that's all seating here for the pub. One other thing to point out is that there is a stairwell here that you can walk up and get to the upper level of the Esplanade. They also have the menu board for the Crown and Compass posted right outside with both food and drinks listed. So it's really great to get an idea of what they have here before you actually go inside. So right next to the Crown and Compass, we will find Sorrento's. We're going to do our tour of the Esplanade here. Let's begin with Sorrento's. So you'll come in here. They do have the hours for the day posted, hand sanitizer, and the queue to order. So when you come through, I haven't quite got all the food out yet for today, but this is where they'll have like mixed vegetables, olive bar, kind of things like that, little snacks and such. And then the different pizzas, they usually have a special of the day. For today, it's the Carnivore, or it will be, it's not yet. The Carnivore, which is essentially a meat lovers. So you always want to check and see what the special pizza of the day is. And then they do have all the condiments here. You do have a booth tucked up here in the back, and then you do have like, kind of, I guess you could call it bar rail seating, you know, built-in table seating, looking out of the windows here, seeing the ocean, checking out the plants. Really like the aesthetic in here. Another booth tucked up into that corner. And then of course you have plenty of tables and chairs throughout the restaurant. One last thing to point out here in Sorrento's is that they do have 2 Coke Freestyle machines. And next door to Sorrento's, we will find the Cafe Promenade. This is the one location that is open 24 hours a day. A couple of things to show inside the Cafe Promenade. So they do have coffee, tea, you can get on this side. Over on this side, they do have a standard beverage station. So juice in the morning. They do have lemonade and flavored water later on. Standard water and ice right there. And then over here is where you'll order your food. Hello. So right now, breakfast time, pastries, donuts, fruits, parfaits, things like that. Later on, maybe sandwiches or cookies. Next to Sorrento's and Cafe Promenade, we will find the shop. The Wash. The shop. This is the Royal Caribbean store, essentially. All of the Crown and Anchor products, things that have the different ship names or different things that are specific to Royal Caribbean. This is Royal Caribbean merchandise. Inside of here they have toys, bags, hats, keychains, magnets, pretty much anything you can think of. Now moving on, again we're heading aft right now. Technically on the starboard side, I want to point out there is an ATM here, tucked up inside. And then you will find the port and shopping desk here with the port and shopping expert, Tanya, on this ship. You can grab some flyers and information about the various ports. Do have the hours that they'll be here to assist you with any shopping issues that you may have. And then next to that, the place you'll come for all other issues that you might have, guest services. Of course, this is where you come. Any questions you have, anything with the room, any service issues, your folio, anything like that, they have the stanchions here for the queue, and then the various desks back there. So you just head in whenever you need to talk to them. That is also open 24 hours a day, of course. Now let's proceed to the other side of the lower level of the Royal Esplanade. We do have 2 levels, and we'll find Boleros. This, of course, is the Latin lounge on board. So head inside here. This place gets hopping at night. It is quiet right now. It will not be like that later. So they do have the large stage here. What I like about Boleros, you gotta have a dance floor. When that Latin music starts going, that percussion is hitting, those heels get to clicking. That's what we love about it. This is a large venue, as you can see. Lots and lots of seating in here, and it is necessary. This is a very, very, very popular venue. Like I said, at night, when it gets hopping in here, of course you do have your bar here centrally located, and it's quite large as well. So lots of fun going on in here in Boleros. Heading back into the Esplanade, we'll turn and head forward now. We're along the port side, but next we will have port merchants. So this is where you'll find things like alcohol, tobacco. They do have some minor toiletries in there, but if you want the big bottles of liquor, cigars, things like that, that'll be inside port merchants. So right next to port merchants, we will find Starbucks. Now, unlike other ships, this is actually a full Starbucks location. We do have tables and chairs out here in the Esplanade. Come in, and they have lots of seating in here as well. Booth seating, Ottoman style seating or footrest seating, and of course the actual service area. All the drinks that you want. I've been told it's everything that a normal Starbucks location would have. And they have souvenir cups up here as well that you can purchase in addition to pastries, things like that. They do have high top seating inside here, and then a couple more tables and chairs out on the Esplanade. And as we wrap around, we find ourselves back at Regalia. So that is the end of the loop for the lower level of the Royal Esplanade. The only other thing to point out down here is that they do have these booths in the middle here, and they sell various things throughout different times of the day, different kinds of merchandise. They'll have different sales here and things like that. Now, I mentioned there is an upper level to the Royal Esplanade. We will get to that in just a little bit. Of course, you could take this stairwell up here in the middle. Most people choose to do that. We're going to bypass that, and we're going to head aft and finish up here on deck number 4. Upon exiting the Royal Esplanade, we will find a couple of pieces of interactive art. So this one, you can bounce beach balls up and down on the beach, which is really cool. This one you can control like the static wave. See, he's going by and it's pushing it like that. It's really cool stuff. And then when we turn, we'll find the elevator bay and the stairwells here for midship on deck 4. So let's get a little acclimated as to where we are at. Of course, we already saw the theater, Diamond Club, Music Hall, the shops, the pub, all that stuff in the Royal Esplanade. So now we're proceeding here. Last thing to show on this deck is the upper level of the main dining room, as I mentioned before. This should look very, very similar to the level that we already saw. It does have the video board entry points here as well, and then the various kiosks where they can check you in and get you seated. And then we enter the dining room, and again, very, very, very similar to what we saw down below, just a deck up. They do have windows on either side here, the digital art as well. You can still see the chandelier, and you can look down to the lower level. And just like that, we have completed deck number 4. Let's head up to 5. All right, deck number 5 is where we find ourselves, and we are currently at the midship elevators and stairs. What we're going to do is turn and go this way. We'll cover the back, the aft of the ship first. Before we head out there, I did want to point out that there are doors on either side here, port or starboard, to head outside. So I just want to show this really quick before we go to the back, that you can head outside here. That's where you'll find the lifeboats. That's kind of used as a walking track or to get outside. I do believe this is the closest point you can get to the ocean/sea on board. They do have chairs as well. Let's head back inside, and we will turn and head towards the aft section. So just past the elevators here, we'll see the sign. It does say 270 this way. That is where we are headed. We're going to pass a couple of things along the way. We'll work our way back around. Really love the artwork here. Colorful water splashes, different colors, and then these little things that they've attached to the wall. That's a lot of fun, as well as the colored light here with this chandelier, which should look quite familiar. So this is where we were seeing from earlier in the main dining room. You can see that's down to level 3, level 4 right there, and now we're up on deck 5. So it's actually not part of the main dining room. This is the Via. You can go through this area here. We'll show you some different venues. But yes, it is completely open air down into the main dining room, which is actually really cool. I actually really like that. So let's turn here, go around the loop. So on the starboard side of the ship, we will find luxury timepieces. As the name would suggest, they are selling various watch brands inside, and that continues on down. So it's actually a pretty large venue for selling watches on board. Now, something really cool over here that's new, but we're going to get to that in just a minute. There's the different brands that they're selling inside. And then the next thing we'll find here is the Park West. Of course, this is the art gallery on board. They do have the hours posted there if you need to speak to an attendant, but they will have various art pieces up here for auction. You can purchase those, and they also usually have some kind of contest, like guess the weight of the sculpture or something along those lines. Oh, I like this one. As we continue, we're making our way towards 270, but we'll have something else. 2 other things before we get there, actually. First thing is the next cruise desk. Of course, just like every Royal Caribbean ship, this is where you'll want to come and book your next cruise to receive a special offer. If you're using a travel agent, it can easily be sent to your travel agent. No problem. They should ask you if you want to do that. Even if you didn't book with a travel agent for the sailing you're currently on, you can let them know that you want to use a travel agent going forward, or they can just go ahead and book it and we can transfer it when you get back. So lots of options. Definitely check out the next cruise desk when you're ready to book your next cruise. Now, across from that, we do have these large banquet style tables with lots of seats. They are currently unavailable to COVID, but they're there at some point to be used. The next venue we do find is the cafe at 270, which we loved on Anthem. We haven't dined here yet, but we are going to have the hours posted right outside here. And as you enter, you'll find the various foods. So it's breakfast time right now, so they're going to have things like yogurt, parfaits, different smoked fish, meats, bagels, and pre-made sandwiches here. The salads and the soup there you can see, but they do have lunch and style sandwiches as well. I almost said dinner, but they don't not usually open for dinner. You have hot cereals over here as well, breakfast burritos, different kind of things like that, different sandwiches. And here, this is actually our menu board for the lunch sandwiches. See, lots of good stuff here. And all this is included. This is included with your cruise fare. It's very, very nice. It's a little bit of an elevated experience. Very delicious. You have your condiments bar here in the middle. And then over on this side, we do have a beverage station. Coffee, juices, you know, at lunch, lemonade, tea kind of thing, water, and then more coffee and tea right there. Over at this side, we do have the Cafe 270 pastries and espresso. I do believe that the pastries and like the fruit and stuff, that is included with your cruise fare. But if you see those specialty coffees there up on the menu board, you can see the different prices. Those are not included. Those are at an additional cost. You can also exit the cafe and go right into 270 here. We're going to head back outside and go through the main entrance. Exiting the cafe at 270, and we will find the main entrance to 270 itself. The name, of course, harkens to the views that you will get inside 270. 270 degrees of views to those gorgeous multi-floor panoramic windows that they have in the back. So 270 is a multi-use space. During the day, it's usually lounging. You can come eat your Cafe 270 food in here. You can read a book, play cards, do whatever you like. They do have a bar over here that I will say is I haven't really seen open during the day so much. It's usually open in the evening, but they do have that. And again, the windows continue all the way around here on the very back of the ship, so you're getting that wake view, getting that beautiful ocean view. And this is one of the main features of 270. That's not just one giant television monitor. It's actually 6 put together. Sometimes they'll show movies in here. If there's a big sports game like match or Super Bowl, something like that, they will put that up there as well. Live TV, different various events throughout the day. And at night, this completely transforms into a performance venue. You can see they're getting some stuff set up right now, actually. They will close the curtains all the way across. They can do projections on them. It's really, really interesting stuff. We love 270. It's such a cool space, and it is multi-level. You see there's plenty of tables and chairs and seating in here all the way around, nooks and crannies. That's why we like it. There is an upstairs. You can take the stairs here behind the bar to get up to that, or you can take the stairs over there right where we entered. Now normally I would save this until we were up on deck 6, but you actually can't access this from deck 6 typically. So let's go ahead and head up the stairs and check out the upper level. So up on the upper deck of 270 now, you can look down. Actually doing some rehearsal for their performance later tonight. So lots of seating up here as well, pointed right at all the action. You do even have some bar rail style seating on the back, even some benches just to look out at the ocean and enjoy those views. Now it's not just the upper level of 270. There are a couple other things in here as well. One thing really quick to point out, you'll see these icons all throughout 270. This is for an augmented reality game that you can find in the Royal Caribbean mobile app. So you open up the app, go down to the icon, it says 270, you can launch that game, play that with these icons throughout. It's a lot of fun. We did that on Anthem. But now we will enter the library area. I mean, pretty self-explanatory. The name kind of tells you. Tables and chairs in here to get some work done. There's a television, though it's not currently working. I remember the one on Anthem had computers and printers. I don't see those. I don't know if it's because of COVID or they're just not doing that here. But that is technically the designated library section, as well as this area, which on Anthem had books and board games. I'm gonna guess because of COVID, they're not putting those out right now. But you do at least have some comfortable seating, maybe a nice quiet place to hang out. Ooh, there's another one of those icons. And then this just flows back into the upper level of 270, where the seating for all the shows continues. I did want to point out, you'll see the sign says exit here, and I said you don't typically access the upper level of 270 from outside of it. If you went out these doors, it would take you into the hallway where the staterooms are. So technically I guess you could, but it's not overly marked and not a true entrance, if you will. Wanted to point out there is an accessible elevator though right here, in case you need to use that to get up to this upper level. Always like to see that, of course. And we'll head over back to the starboard side. And we'll see that stairwell that comes up from the main entrance where we entered. Some more additional seating here, as well as this little area. This is where we like to sit. Kind of just its own little balcony here. And the last thing you'll find here is the boardroom. To be quite honest, I don't really know what the boardroom is. On Anthem, this was like a little photo gallery area. This just looks like an empty space that they might use for small meetings or various events, things like that. But if someone tells you to meet at the boardroom, that's where it's at. And then that's the end of the upper deck of 270. All right, enough cheating. We're up here on deck 6. We need to get back to deck 5. Let's head down and continue with that. All right, back on deck 5, back at the Via. So if we turn here, you'll see Park West and the hallway back down to 270 right there. We're going to continue our tour on around the Via loop here, so to speak, and we will find that new offering that I was talking about. It's an old offering, but it's been redone. We all know and love Giovanni's table. Now we have Giovanni's Italian kitchen and wine bar. Love the bike, by the way. So if we turn to the left here, this is the wine bar. See, they have the wine stored in the back there. Tables and chairs, as you would expect. Low lounge seats, comfortable seating. There's a bar seating as well up at the bar. So yeah, as the name would suggest, this is the wine bar. Come get wine, come get drinks. But they do have some food here as well. They do have some smaller bites that you can find in the Royal Caribbean app on the menu. I think they have meatballs here. They will do some pizza over here as well. Like I think meats and cheeses. See, they have the planks here, so I'm sure that's where they'll be serving those up. So yes, this is the wine bar, but that's just one part. The other part is the Italian kitchen. Oh, I love the pizza board. So that's what's going on here. They've redone the menu for Giovanni's. They have some of the classic favorites, but they also have a lot of new things as well, including pizzas. We cannot wait to dine here. We have it scheduled for our last day of our cruise, and I guess we're gonna have to wait because it's the last day, but we've heard great things. Do you see they have lots of tables and chairs out here actually along the Via, so you can sit out here if you'd like. Love the brick, love the vines, very typical Italian flair to it. As we come inside, I do love that they have booth seating along the windows. One bad thing though is the lifeboats are right outside, so your view is interrupted by that. You do have an obstructed view, but it's a very nice atmosphere in here. Again, typical Italian rustic kind of flair to it. You do see they have the food service area there, pizza ovens back there where they're cooking them up. Lots of fun going on in here at Giovanni's. Again, we cannot wait to dine here. We've heard excellent things, and I absolutely love pizza, so I can't wait to have some. So that's going to do it for the Via and the aft section of the ship. We'll turn back to our colored water splashes here, go through the elevator bay here at midship, and proceed to the Royal Esplanade upper level. As we head in, some more beautiful artwork. Love this big flower there. That's quite lovely. And we'll find ourselves here on the upper level of the Royal Esplanade. As you can see, it's open down to the lower level of the Royal Esplanade. So you can't transverse across, you have to make the loop here, and that's what we're going to do. So let's start to the right. Did want to point out, so we're on starboard side. You do have doors here. We can head outside to the promenade deck if you'd like. But the first thing we're going to land at here is Wonderland. Imaginative cuisine. This is where they do some crazy stuff. They do food in ways you would never think of. We ate here on Anthem, and it was the most wonderful, pleasant surprise. Look at that. I wouldn't say that I am culinary advanced or very adventurous, so I was nervous and hesitant about it, but I actually thoroughly enjoyed it. And as the name would suggest, it's going to be very whimsical and crazy inside Wonderland. You're down the rabbit hole and it's going to get a little wild. So lots of fun to have in there. Different styles of chairs and tables and mismatched things. It's really a lot of fun, and they do a whole presentation experience with it. So it's really cool stuff there at Wonderland. As we proceed along the upper deck here of the Royal Esplanade, they do have a couple of tables and chairs just out here for anyone to use at various points throughout the day. Don't think they typically use those for Wonderland seating. As we wrap around here, we will find ourselves at Izumi Japanese cuisine. This is Izumi sushi. They do not have Izumi hibachi on this vessel, although they do have a hibachi option. We'll get to that later, but right now we're at Izumi sushi. They do have the tables and chairs here where you can sit and look right out along the Royal Esplanade. That's a great view. Highly recommend you doing that. And then it continues on along inside here, and of course it's sushi, so you have to have a sushi bar. Hello, thank you. Sushi bar right here. You can sit along there. They'll get you all your rolls and different things you'd like to have. Some more seating out here as well. Now we can continue this way where we'll find some other venues. We're going to do that in just a little bit. We need to finish up the Esplanade. So there's a couple of things here on the port side. First thing we'll find is Bionic Bar. We love Bionic Bar. We loved it on Anthem. We loved it on Oasis. For those who don't know, Bionic Bar is a robotic bar experience. So normally when it's open, which it's not right now, they'll have tablets here out on these tables. You come up, tap your SeaPass card, place your drink order, and the two robotic arms will make the drinks for you. They have standard alcoholic drinks, they have non-alcoholic drinks. You can even make your own drink, and if you have a deluxe beverage package, all of the drinks are included. If you have a refreshment package, the non-alcoholic drinks are included. Wanted to point out though that diamond drinks, so if you're diamond level, diamond plus, pinnacle, those daily drinks that you get are not included with Bionic Bar, so just keep that in mind. And as we proceed on, I love that you get a great view too of the Esplanade at Bionic Bar. Proceeding on out, we'll find the VOOM internet desk here, so if you need internet, we can take care of you right there. And next door to that, we will have short excursions. As the name would suggest, this is where you come in and book something. If you're heading into port and you need something to do, you tap your SeaPass card, use the touch screen, you can book short excursions, anything that's available. It'll charge to your onboard account right here. They do have a lot of stations here, lots of tablets available, even some seating with some windows if you want to look out while you're planning those excursions. So lots of fun to be had inside there. And that is going to complete our loop of the upper level of the Royal Esplanade, and thus pretty much complete the Royal Esplanade. What we're going to do now is head back down this way to that junction that I pointed out a minute ago, and we'll head forward and see what we can find. So looking back at the Esplanade, we turn, we see Izumi again, and now we will head down this avenue. Again, we are heading forward now. We're basically midship. We're not really port or starboard, kind of in the middle here. Wanted to point out, this is that stairwell I showed earlier. It'll take you down to the lower level. But now we're going to head inside Schooner Bar. So of course, Schooner Bar on every Royal Caribbean vessel. This is the nautical themed piano bar. They'll do trivia and activities in here. They have some trivia going right now. But as you would expect, a lot of tables, chairs, and of course a bar. They do have a bar here. They do have a bar here in the middle to get all your drinks. And you'll see like all the ropes, anchors, ties, pulleys. And right next to the Schooner Bar, here kind of on the starboard side of the ship, we will find Chops Grill. This is the steakhouse on board. So you can book this as a specialty restaurant, of course, so this comes at an additional cost. They have lots of tables and chairs in here, obviously, because you're going to be dining, but then they have some very interesting seating, like a high back there, seating along the windows. Again, the lifeboats are out there though, so it is a bit of an obstructed view, but it's a very dark, romantic, intimate affair in here. So the other side of the restaurant has other seating there as well. The wine bottles stored at the front. So we exit Chops Grill back into the Schooner Bar. Just want to point out you can access the upper level of the Royal Theater right through here past the forward elevators. We're actually going to continue back over here because we're going to enter the Focus Photo Gallery. So this is where you can come and view all of your photos that have been taken on board. If you've had photos taken at the various locales, this is where you can come and view those on the touchscreens. You can purchase photos. If you have photo packages, those can be used to get your photos here. And they do have some keepsake souvenirs as well. You can get your photos turned into buttons. You can do like etched glass, different things like that. And they also sell camera equipment in here, GoPros and GoPro accessories. They have Instas, they have cords and SD cards, different kind of things. They even have gimbals if you're looking for a gimbal or an action cam. They have those as well, and then additional souvenirs like photo frames and lanyards, keepsakes, things like that here inside Focus Photo Gallery. And now we reach the very forward part of the ship, the Royal Theater upper level. So that's the only thing that's going to be up here. And with our arrival to the Royal Theater, we have completed deck number 5. Time to head up to number 6. All right, we've arrived on deck number 6, but actually deck number 6 is just staterooms other than the upper level of 270, which we already showed. I'm going to give you a little bit of a spoiler alert here. As we scroll down, deck 6 through 10 are all staterooms. So normally we go up a deck and say, oh, deck 7, just staterooms, moving up. And if you thought I was going to stop doing that, you're insane. So let's head up to deck 7. Deck number 7, no surprise, just staterooms. Going up. Deck number 8, and who would have guessed it? Just staterooms. Up we go. It's not deck number 6 upside down, it's deck number 9, and no surprise here, just staterooms. Up we go. It's the last deck, not of the ship, but the only one that has just staterooms that's left. Nothing to see here on deck 10. Let's get back to the fun on deck 11. All right, deck number 11, and as we look at the deck map here, it looks like it's just going to be staterooms, but we get to the forward part, we do see Adventure Ocean. Of course, this is the kids club area on board. So what we're going to do here is we're at the forward elevators and stairs. We're going to turn, kind of head to the port side, and you'll see the colorful signage here for Adventure Ocean. This is the entry point. They do have interactive games. You can actually play right here and on this video board as well. Of course, we love the colorful signage for Adventure Ocean. Ooh, and a rainbow hall. They had a larger version of this on Oasis, which we really liked. Very cool. Now we're not going to go into the various rooms here. I'm sure the kids are in there playing. We want to be respectful of that. They want to point out there are a couple of interactive games here as well. But just wanted to show this is where you'll find the different zones. So they do have the workshop in here where they can do various arts and crafts and activities, things like that. And then you arrive to Adventure Ocean. Kids 6 to 12 years old, you go inside, get checked in right there, and then they will take them to the various locations. Oh, it looks like they have an interactive game on the wall, projecting on the wall in there. So again, we're going to be respectful, not going to go in and show, you know, the kids are in there enjoying their space. Just know that this is where it is, and they'll have a ton of fun inside. And simple as that, we have finished deck 11. Let's go to 12. All right, up on deck number 12 now, and those of you who are very astute and observant may know, you may have seen on the map when I showed it a second ago, Adventure Ocean is 2 levels, 2 stories. So we showed the lower level on deck 11, and the upper level is actually the only thing we need to show on deck 12. The same way that we got to the lower level, we'll go to the upper level. Forward elevators and stairs, come to the port side and follow the colorful entry points. Again, they do have interactive games here as well on both sides. The lovely colorful sign, and now you'll see AO babies 6 to 36 months, AO juniors 3 to 5 years old, and play place for little ones and family. So the downstairs is for the older kids 6 to 12, the upstairs are for the younger kiddos, and they have their own rainbow hallway. It's kind of neon, I really like that. So we come in here and we're going to find the various rooms. Again, not going to head inside, going to be respectful, but we do have the AO babies 6 to 36 months. They'll take care of them in there. Nice little kind of nursery looking area. They have a soft play area down there. And then we have AO juniors. I'm not going to show inside because there are kiddos in there. So AO juniors for 3 to 5 years old. That'll be their playroom right inside there. And then we do have play place, which I do see the sign says unavailable. Thanks for keeping your distance. So play place must not be going due to COVID. But it does look like a really fun spot in there. It looks like it's jungle theme. I see some, like a jaguar or something on the back wall, a toucan, butterfly. That's a lot of fun. So this is just like a kind of a playground, like an indoor playground, interactive play space. Again, oh, I see playground and slide rules on the sign there. So that's what's going on inside there. And as I mentioned, 11 and 12, just staterooms and Adventure Ocean. We have now seen that. So that completes deck 12. Man, nice and fast. Now let's head up to 13. Yes, there is a deck 13 on this ship. And we have arrived to that tricky old deck 13. Sometimes you won't see a 13. Superstitious. I guess Odyssey's not superstitious, it's just a little stitious. Heyo! Okay, now there is some shenanigans going on with deck 13, which is quite appropriate. Because, if you look down here, you'll see that deck 13 is just listed as staterooms, and then the suite lounge in the aft. And when you look at the map, that's what it looks like. Staterooms and suite lounge in the aft. But if you look forward on the map, you'll see the solarium. But here's the tricky part. You can't access the solarium from deck 13. It just technically is deck 13 because when you go in on deck 14, there are then stairs to go down to this level, which would be even with deck 13. But you don't access it yet. It has to be from 14, so we're gonna hold off. No solarium yet. We are at the forward elevators and stairs. I need to go all the way back to show you the entrance to the suite lounge. I don't know if I'll get in because I'm not in a suite, but we can at least show you where it's at. So we're gonna head aft, all the way aft, deck 13. I wanted to show deck 13 still. I've now made it to the midship elevators and stairs. We still have a ways to go. I just wanted to point this out because you might think, oh, I'm in the wrong spot because there's not a lot of signage or anything that indicates that the suite lounge is this way. You're just kind of walking down the stateroom corridor. Even if you look here though, you will see suite lounge. So just keep following it. It's gonna look just like the regular stateroom corridor until you get all the way in the back. So let's head there. And finally, there is light at the end of the tunnel. And that light says Suite Lounge. It is a long walk back here if you do have access to the Suite Lounge. So, of course, this is going to be for Sky and Star level suite. So if you're sea level in a junior suite, you do not have access to this. But whoever does, tap your SeaPass card there and you can enter. Unfortunately, I'm not staying in a suite for this sailing, so I can't get in. I can't even show you what it looks like because the glass is frosted. So unfortunately, this will just have to do. Just know this is where it's at. We are now done with deck number 13. Let's go to 14. Oh, and as we head up to deck 14, show you something interesting here. So we are at the midship elevators and stairs. Now you could take your normal stairwell up here, or you could take the elevators, of course. But I recommend turning back towards the elevators and taking this stairwell for a couple of different reasons. Number one, get the glass view, you can see all the elevators going on. The real reason that you want to take this stairwell is as you ascend the stairs, it will turn from carpet into glass. You can see straight down to basically where the Esplanade entrance is. And just like that, we've arrived to deck 14. Of course, we are at the midship elevators and stairs, so we're going to come and see the back of the ship first and then work our way forward. So let's do that now. We'll turn and we're going to find what else? A Royal Caribbean staple, the Windjammer Marketplace. This is the buffet on board. And of course, you do need to wash your hands, so I'm going to do that right now. So there are our sinks for our hand washing station, and now we'll proceed. And as you would expect with the Windjammer, it's pretty standard how you've come to know and love. Tables and chairs all throughout. Big panoramic floor to ceiling windows all the way around here. So we're not going to get into detail with that. Your food is going to be centrally located. So all the food stations are here in the middle. Different things. Right now, breakfast, so cereals and fruit, things like that. If you're curious about what you can find in the Windjammer for lunch, you want to check out some of our vlogs, and it's pretty standard, what you would expect. It hasn't really changed too much. Food is on the inside, drinks are along the outside, so they have drink stations, water, coffee, tea, juice at breakfast, lemonade, and flavored waters at lunch. And it just continues along. So this is the first main food section. Did want to point out they do have Coke Freestyle machine right over there. So again, if you have the beverage package or the souvenir cup, you can fill that up here inside the Windjammer. But you're going to have your food all along the interior. As I mentioned, your seating is going to be on the exterior, on the perimeter as you go around. And they will have different sizes, 2 tops, 4 tops, 6 tops, 8 tops, all the way to the back. It just keeps going and going and going. And as we arrive to the back section here, lots more tables and chairs, but they do have other beverage stations back here. The coffee, tea, water, juice, lemonade kind of set up. And then there is another food station back here. How often this gets used, I'm not sure, especially right now with reduced capacity. But here in the aft, you do have a lot of seating options available, of course, with those panoramic windows. Take in that beautiful view, the wake view, the aft view. Now, there is not an outdoor seating section for this Windjammer. Other Quantum class ships do have an outdoor section, a small one at that, as do like Radiance class ships, but not this one. No outdoor. So you can wrap around. Again, another beverage station here on the starboard side. So it's going to be a complete mirror. You're going to have tables and chairs on both sides, windows so you can look out, the themed lighting, the different colors, things of that nature, artwork along the interior walls, and it just continues. It's the same exact setup that we saw on the other side, and then it heads back out to the main food service area here in the center. So that is the Windjammer Marketplace on board. Now we're gonna head out on the opposite side. We came in on the port side. We're gonna head out on the starboard side. We're gonna scan out, and then we have something to show right when we exit. Okay, I told a bit of a lie. Before we exit, right next to the bakery, they do have the bar section right here. You get specialty coffees and drinks and things like that. So now we exit here again on the starboard side of the ship, and we find the thing that I was actually talking about, which is Coastal Kitchen. So Coastal Kitchen is the suite restaurant on board. Now all levels of the Royal Suite class can dine here, although the C class with the junior suites has the lowest priority, and I believe they can only do dinner. But if you are Sky class or Star class, you can come here breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and you shouldn't have any trouble with that. All right, they were kind enough to let me come into the Coastal Kitchen and give you the quick tour. Wow, this is really nice. Like, look at this. Different kinds of artwork. I love the big booth seating. This is a large location. I feel like there's way more tables in here than on Oasis of the Seas. It just continues on back and even wraps around here. Wow. Lots going on in here. Of course, they do have the panoramic windows as well. And just wrap back around. Lots of tables and chairs, lots of seating in here. All right, deck 14, elevators midship. We are on the starboard side, but before we continue forward, I'm actually gonna come back across here to the port side where we entered the Windjammer, right through there. But instead of going into the Windjammer, I'm gonna turn here. I told you there was a teppanyaki option, a hibachi option on board, and it's called teppanyaki. So this is a new kind of venue, although I will say the menu does seem very similar to Izumi Hibachi. So let's head inside here. It is open, so let's head inside and take a look. The hostess desk, or host desk, where they will take care of you right there. And as we come in, wow, this is a large location. Holy smokes, this is way bigger than Oasis was. How many tables do we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tables inside teppanyaki here, and look at the gorgeous views. I mean, this is fantastic. This would be a very, very nice experience. Okay, let's head outside now. We're gonna go forward, deck 14. All right, deck 14, teppanyaki back over there on the port side. We came back over to the starboard side to head out to the pool deck area and proceed forward along deck 14. And we came to the starboard side because we wanted to show you El Loco Fresh. So this, of course, is the included Mexican option on board. They have the hours of operation posted right there. And we have eaten at El Loco Fresh on the sailing, so check out our daily vlogs if you want to see some of the food and more of the menu and things like that. They have a hand washing station here. They'll get you your plates and utensils right there, and then you proceed along the food station over there to order your burritos, your tacos, your nachos, your quesadillas, all of that. And then they have the salsa station with the toppings right there. So lots of tables and chairs. They do have bar rail seating along the windows over on the side, which is really cool. I like that a lot. And then when you come over to this area, you will find the drink station. So your juices, your tea, your water, lemonade, and then they do have a Coke freestyle machine here as well at El Loco Fresh. So outside of El Loco Fresh, you're gonna find the rest of the pool deck here. Now I'm going to cheat a little bit because I find the best way to show you the pool deck is to actually go up. So I'm gonna skip a little bit ahead here. I'm gonna go upstairs and kind of give you the overview from up above because I think that is a little bit easier to get an idea of how the pool deck is laid out. But before I head it up, I did want to show, of course, it's a pool deck. You're gonna have lots of loungers, chairs, different kind of things, tables that you can use down here. It is a Caribbean pool deck. They did do that for this ship, so you're gonna get all the vibrant colors. We love that a lot. Before I head upstairs, one thing I did want to point out in detail down here is Splashaway Bay with our shaded mohawked duck up there having lots of fun. Of course, this is the splash play area for the kids here. They do have a kind of a standard slide. They have spinners, sprayers, and then they have like a tubular slide over there, and then a little bubble splash smaller play area for the babies, baby splash zone right over there. So that's a lot of fun. I love when they have the Splashaway Bay for the kids. It's a cool feature. Now let's head upstairs. I'll give you the overview. All right, up top now to give you the bird's eye view. Again, there is the Splashaway Bay area that we already showed and discussed. You can get a kind of a great overview of the main pool area. Here again, it is the Caribbean pool deck, so you're gonna get all those bright, vibrant colors. They do have the cool like faux palm trees with the fronds. You'll see you have the main pool there. It is shelved on the outside, so the perimeter, or well, 3 parts of it are shelved. You have the standard chairs over up on the shelf. You do have the lounge chairs down in the water, and then you can of course go down into the deeper section of the pool. On the port side of the pool, you will find a hot tub, a jacuzzi tub you can see right over there. So lots of good stuff going on the pool deck. They do have loungers and chairs, as I mentioned, all throughout. And then the bar right in the middle of the lime and coconut there, which is actually 2 stories. Okay, now that we've had the overview, I'm gonna go back down and show you some things in detail right over there, and then we'll proceed forward. All right, back down on deck 14, right next to the main pool area. I wanted to turn and point out that there is a towel station here. It is closed right now, but if you notice, the sign will say that the forward pool towel station is open, so we'll show that in just a little bit. I'm gonna turn here and show this kind of hut, little cabana shack. You see the lights put up there because this is the performance stage when they do Caribbean pool deck music throughout the day. That's where that is going to be. And right behind that, you will find Sprinkles, which is the ice cream on deck. It's not self-serve, they will get it for you, but it is soft serve. Chocolate, vanilla, swirl, and they do have strawberry too, which I love. Wanted to point out something here. You'll see this surfboard sign says Casita check-in at Lime and Coconut deck 15. Now that's up, the upper level of the Lime and Coconut right there. Talk about those casitas in just a second. Just remember that, keep that in mind. Tables and chairs continuing on here, umbrellas. We do find the Lime and Coconut bar. There's that sign right up there. So this is the bar that they've added to all the Caribbean pool decks. Very popular pool deck bar here at the Lime and Coconut. Now, here we see this little casita. You see the sign here, this casita is reserved. So this is what they were talking about when it said upstairs. You check in upstairs on deck 15, right up there for these casitas. So they have several. They have 2 down here on the main pool deck on deck 14, 1 here and 1 right over there by Splashaway Bay. The other ones are up on deck 15 along the perimeter. So these do come at an additional cost. They are first come, first serve, but you can reserve them in advance. Starting at 9 a.m. each morning is when they open upstairs to get the reservation. And it is technically for 2 people. As you can see, the day bed is set up for 2. You'll get towels for 2. It will include 2 drinks with the price, as well as 4 bottles of water. Now they did say you can have as many people come and kind of hang out here as you'd like, but you're only going to get those drinks, towels, and service for those 2 people. Now the price is $149 if you are at port and $199 if you're at sea. I believe I have that correct. Beginning at 9 a.m. throughout the rest of the day, as long as you'd like, you can enjoy your casita. They do have them numbered. They do have fun little names for each one. And so yeah, you just have your own little space to plop down there on and enjoy that. So it's really cool. One important thing to point out here on deck 14 port side is the smoking section. This is one of the smoking sections on board. They usually have one down on the promenade deck. I'm not sure if they do on this ship. I can tell you this is a smoking section here, deck 14 port side, right next to the main pool. Now we'll continue forward here along the port side on deck 14. Of course, the tables, chairs, loungers all continue throughout, but what we'll find is another pool. So there's actually two pools here. Now this is not an indoor pool. You'll see on some Royal Caribbean ships an indoor pool or something like that. And this is not the Solarium either. This is just a pool. It's another pool area that you can use. It has the shelf as well with the lounge chairs or the regular chairs on the other side. There's a hot tub on the starboard side of this one. And they do have the big screen up there. You can hear they're playing the movie right now. It looks like Soul. So they'll play various movies throughout the day or at night. They'll show some TV events up there as well. Do like the flowers that they painted up top and the color on the North Star arm. Again, we'll get to that in just a minute. Now we turn here, I want to point out that the Lime and Coconut Bar also has a backside section. So right here for this pool, they have this section set up for Lime and Coconut to serve you here as well. Both starboard and port side are going to have loungers, chairs, places to relax, big panoramic windows, everything you would come to expect from a pool deck. Over here they do have some life jackets you can rent. Not even rent, actually, they're for free. You can just grab those if you need them. They are clean and sanitized for everyone's use. You have freshwater showers here as well. And then as we proceed forward, this is where you will find the towel station. I mentioned that the other one was closed, kind of like the, I guess you could call it the remote station, the outpost, the main station, towel station, right here. Just present your SeaPass card to check those towels out for use at the pool or in the ports. Just make sure you bring them back so you don't get charged for them. Now, we're gonna turn back, go past the pool here to the port side of the ship because there's something to show over here. And what we're going to show here is Sea Trek. So this is the like scuba diving area on board, the PADI section where you can sign up for classes, lessons, things like that. They are closed right now, but they have the hours of operation posted right there. So you see all the equipment in there, the tanks and vests and things like that. So you can get instruction on how to scuba dive. They'll train you in the pool, show you different ways to do it, try out some of the equipment. It's a lot of fun to do here at Sea Trek. All right, going into the Solarium, this is an adults only area, 16 and up. Now all the way along the perimeter here, you're gonna find lounge chairs, of course, sun chairs, things like that, but you'll also find day beds and little loungers, couches, things of that nature. This is one of our favorite solariums. It smells and feels like a spa in here in the best way possible. They have the plants in here. It's very relaxing, very refreshing. It's just a great place to come in, take in the view, especially during the day. At night, you can't really see anything. It's so dark. But of course, with all this glass and all these windows on the side, on the very front, we're looking directly out the front of the ship at Liberty of the Seas right now. Hello, Liberty. And then we look up, it's up above too. You're just getting all this glass to take in the wonderful views. Chairs and lounges abound all throughout. And you have showers in here as well. I mentioned earlier, remember we said on deck 13 that it said Solarium, but you couldn't access it. Well, this is why. The stairs go all the way down. That would be even with deck 13. So you do have two hot tubs. You have to actually enter here and go across to get to this side, but you have two hot tubs on this side and two hot tubs on that side as well. Loungers, chairs all the way around on the very front. And then in the middle section here, we will find the Solarium pools. And no, that is not a real swimmer there. It does look pretty realistic though. But it's cool because these pools are tiered and each section is infinity style. So you have the top level here and then it flows down into this level. You have the glass and it flows down to that level and then that flows down into the bottom level. So it's just really cool. You're getting the waterfall features. You're getting the nice kinetic energy, the sound of the rushing water. Again, very, very relaxing. At the bottom level here, they do have these loungers in the water. So there's water here. This is a shelf and the infinity style there that you can see. Very, very nice. And back up by the top level of the pool with our swim cap lady on her tube. Behind her, you'll see the Sunshine Bar. Of course, it's a bar, as the name would suggest. You see they have all the drinks back there. So you send the Solarium. They do have a juice squeezer there for fresh squeezed orange juice. And of course, alcoholic drinks and things like that, mocktails, whatever, there at the Sunshine Bar. And now the other side of the Solarium is pretty much going to be a mirror. We do have something very big to show you on the middle here behind the Sunshine Bar. But there are two other things, small things I want to show more towards the forward here. They are on both sides, starboard and port. I'm going to head to the starboard side. So we step outside here on the wing. This is right above the bridge. So you're basically going to see what the captain and crew see out here. You can look out forward, down to the bow of the ship. You can look out to the side. Of course, this is starboard, but as I mentioned, it's also available port side as well. And you can look back, you can see to the back, look up in the solarium, look down through the balconies, down to the promenade, the lifeboats, the pier down there if you're in port, or down to the ocean if you're out at sea. So lots of great views here on the wing. Now we're gonna head back inside and take a look at Solarium Bistro. Before I head outside though, looking out the forward of the ship, this is a great time to point out that there is not a helipad on this vessel. I do believe that what you're seeing down there is actually a crew area, crew only area, no helipad to access on this ship. Okay, we've come back inside here on deck 14. We're at the forward elevator bay. We're gonna turn here towards the port side. You can see you can go outside and go back into the solarium, but this wanted to show this is where the Solarium Bistro main entrance is. So it's currently closed right now. See, they have the hours posted here, and of course the menu board. But this is the main entrance. This is where you would normally go in, but I'm going to show you a couple other doors you can enter. So we're here on the port side of the solarium. Come back inside, and you'll see you have a hand washing station here, and then these doors here as well. They do have the signage up that indicates they would like you to enter from the inside area that I just showed you, but there are doors here and on the other side as well. I'm going to try to pop in and see if I can film really quick. Okay, I found a door that was open for Solarium Bistro, so I'm just gonna step in really quick and film here. So yeah, this is the buffet area that continues on over there, and then they have, of course, tables and chairs throughout. They do have some half table, half booth seating. The windows here, but they do have the shades drawn to kind of cut down on some of the sunlight that's coming in. It smells really good in here. They do have a beverage station there as well. So this is the door I was showing earlier on the port side, and they do have doors on the starboard side as well. And then I just came in on the back side here by the Sunshine Bar. So lots of good space in here in the Solarium Bistro. And with the solarium wrapped up, we are finished with deck 14. Let's head up to 15, the penultimate deck. Deck 15 is where we find ourselves now. We are at the forward elevators and stairs. And one large thing here at the forward part of deck 15 is the Vitality Spa and Salon. So as we turn towards the starboard side of the ship, that is where we will find the entrance to the spa and salon. Let's see if we can go in here and film a little tour really quick. So we have our desk check-in area right when we come in with some seating. We turn and proceed back towards the front of the ship. We'll find the salon here. Different treatments that can be done inside of there. Dual-sided. They have changing rooms in here, of course.
Relaxation area. So that's where the guests will come before they have any treatment.
Right here?
Yeah.
Okay. So waiting area before treatments. You can sit and relax in here. It is a vaccinated area only, so you can remove masks. We come in. We have a tropical rain shower room here on the side. And then we do have the heated seats you can lounge on and relax on. They do have towels and hooks there you can hang your stuff up on as well. And here's an example of one of the treatment rooms. Of course, they do have plenty in here to get your different treatments that they can provide. Just inquire at the spa desk at what services they offer. It'll be in a room like this. So there you go. That's the Vitality Spa and Salon. We kind of just did a little wrap around there. Goes all the way across. Now we're going to head outside and make our way aft for the rest of deck 15. As we head outside here on deck 15, we do get the upper view of the first pool area, the smaller pool area. And you can see that again, that Caribbean pool deck, all those beautiful vibrant colors coming through. And so what deck 15 is it's basically going to be your sun deck, obviously minus the spa and salon that we just saw in. And you do have your running and jogging track up here. It does go all the way around, so you can see it heads around the front of the ship there, continues on and goes all the way around the back. So you know, we kind of like ships like the Scarlet Lady with Virgin Voyages. They have theirs completely elevated away from everything else. I would assume the runners prefer that as well, but it is built into the sun deck here on Odyssey. Now you're going to continue with the Caribbean pool deck theming up here on the sun deck, so you'll have these beautiful colored vibrant loungers, day beds, and some more of these casitas that you can rent again from the Lime and Coconut staff up here on deck 15. I'll show you where that is in just a second. As we continue forward here though, I'm going to turn around. I want to show you The North Star is up in the air. It has ascended to its full height up there. It has that beautiful color. We'll show the loading area for that in just a second as well. As we arrive to this area though, we'll see this is the Suite Sundeck. Again, for suite guests, you just tap your SeaPass card right there to gain entry, and you can actually see it. I don't have to have access to show you. This is it. It does have an entry point on the port side of the ship as well, but this is it. There's some sun loungers, some day beds, little tables, things like that. You can get shade in the middle where the walk across, or not walk across, but the stretch across bridge there is for the North Star, and you do have a view of the Jumbotron as well for the Suite Sundeck. As we proceed on towards the back of the ship, towards the aft, we will find that second level of the Lime and Coconut Bar right here. So you can get your drinks up here. This is also where you can handle casita rentals up on the top deck. And as we turn, we'll find the North Star information. Of course, this is the ride in that observation arm, the pod on the end of it that we just showed you up in the air. They do have the hours of operation posted up above there. Now, this used to just be complimentary only. Now they have some rides that are complimentary, some rides that are an additional cost. The additional cost rides do come with a longer ride on board, so that's something to keep in mind. You want to reserve those as soon as you get on board. But this is the, I think this is the exit for the North Star. We'll head over to the other side to show the entrance, and along the way we stop and get another bird's eye view of the main pool area. Do have some colorful couches out here with tables you can lounge in, and some more chairs with built-in tables, some high tops here at the top deck of the Lime and Coconut Bar. We make our way around and we will find the entrance area to the North Star. And they do have height measurers because they do have a minimum height for the North Star there, so make sure everyone's measured up. Do want to point out they do have an accessible lift here, so that's great because you do have to go up the spiral staircase to get in and load, but they do have the accessible lift should you need that. And you just head right up there, and then that's where you can board the North Star, which is returning back to its docking station right now. So all the North Star stuff up here. Top deck of the Lime and Coconut Bar, we can get drinks, but also your casita rentals up here as well. So now's a good time to point out that both sides of the sun deck are essentially the same. You're going to have a kind of a mirror image for both sides, right? You're going to have the loungers, you're going to have the day beds, you're going to have the casitas, all the color and the fun and the jogging track and stuff. But there is a little bit of difference. On the main pool area, you'll see here you have an infinity hot tub, jacuzzi tub built in right to the side there. That is on the starboard side. If you head back to the other pool area where the Jumbotron is, there's an infinity hot tub on the port side. So that's really the only difference. Otherwise, it is pretty much a mirror image. So what we're going to do now is we're going to head on back towards the very aft of the ship. So past what you can see right now, there's some fun stuff to check out back there. And as we make our way towards the rear or aft of the ship, did want to point out the running track map here. So you can see, as I said, it does go all the way around. Pretty much it doesn't extend out to the bow because we're not down at that level, but it does go around, and it does have your distance indicators there. So the sun deck does continue on around on the outside here. We're going to get to all that in just a little bit. You're just going to have more loungers and day beds along the way. There are a couple little fun things on either side, but we're actually going to turn and head inside here where the midship elevators and stairs are. Continue the tour right there. Inside by the midship elevators on deck 15, we see kind of our directory here entering the SeaPlex area. So we can go left for the starboard side, where they have the virtual adventure zone, or we continue forward for Playmakers, Sports Bar, and Arcade. But we are going to enter the SeaPlex area here. Let's go ahead and head starboard side so we can show you. And we enter, we got that cool SeaPlex sign. I love it. And we turn around and we see this sign, Zone 0, Virtual Adventure Zone. So we believe this is like a virtual reality play area. Unfortunately, we have not seen this open. This is something new. This is not on other ships. And we have not seen this open during our sailing. So I'm not sure if they're going to have it yet or exactly what all is even included in it. But that is where you will find that. Again, it is a virtual reality kind of play area. You can also enter here from this side. And just like that, I ran into some lovely staff here who explained to me that Zone Zero definitely is a virtual reality experience. It's pirate themed. They said that you have a vest, you have gloves, you have all kinds of stuff. So you're moving around, you become a pirate, you can choose an avatar, one of 4, and you're fighting against a kraken basically. It is $18 per person per play. You can play as many times as you like as long as you're willing to pay for it. They do say it has repeatability. You can definitely play multiple times and still have a lot of fun with it. And you're going to go back there. I think they said it's 4 players at a time that can do this. And actually, it is not closed because of COVID. It's closed for this sailing because of technical issues, which is unfortunate because we would love to show you what it's like, but it is not up and running. But good to know that it's not because of COVID. This will be operating on future sailings as long as everything's working. So good to know. And as we turn from Zone Zero and head towards the rear after the ship, we will enter the main SeaPlex area. This is where they're going to do all kinds of different events inside of here. Right now they have it set up. They do have some table tennis. It looks like some pickleball maybe. They do have cornhole. But this is also where you'll play basketball. So they have basketball hoops up that they can then lower. Also, kind of an unfortunate thing, the cool thing with Odyssey was that it was going to be the first ship to have laser tag with the Quantum class, and it does not. It does not have, it does have laser tag, but they're not doing it because of COVID. That would be done in here inside the SeaPlex as well. Of course, one of our absolute favorite features about the SeaPlex, one of our favorite activities is bumper cars. Bumper cars are going, you see they have the cars parked actually, get through the net here. There we go. You can see the bumper cars over there on the other side. They have them parked right now, but they will be out in this area. It is a ton of fun. That is all included with your cruise fare. I did want to point out there is a help desk right there for Zone Zero. That's where I got the information, so just keep that in mind. As we proceed along the SeaPlex here, on the starboard side, of course, you're going to find comfortable lounging and chairs and tables all throughout, but this is like basically where the arcade on board is too. So they have the games spread out. They have speed racing back there. They have Mario Kart here. They have the skee ball with the blue and green that I absolutely love. They do have a prize hub back here, so you earn virtual tickets. You can redeem those for prizes there. So you can walk all the way around the court and play area. You can see different things. I wanted to point out they do have a Coke freestyle machine in the back here, so if you have the drink package or the souvenir cup, you can get the Coke or whatever soda you like in the machine there. Do have a couple of foosball tables. They have basketball arcade games there. Lots of fun going on here in the SeaPlex. And then again, this is the bumper car storage area. Now the SeaPlex is 2 stories. We're gonna get to the 2nd story with the next deck. For now, let's head outside here on the port side, continue with this deck. So we exit the SeaPlex back out by the jogging track here on the sun deck. On the port side, we will find all these comfortable chairs and loungers and tables. You do have shuffleboard there. I wanted to point that out. And on this side of the lounge space, you do have giant chess. You can get a chess match going right there. Free to play, first come, first serve kind of thing. You'll see the Caribbean pool deck style continue on to the back here of the ship, and even have some more shuffleboard here. Now, here's where things start to get really fun. You see the giant SkyPad in front of us there. We might as well get to that right now because it is right there. I do want to point out there is a stairwell that goes up to some other stuff. We'll get to that in just a little bit. But yes, SkyPad, as the sign says, right here in front of us. This is a virtual reality bungee trampoline experience. So they will strap you in to the bungees. You have the trampoline down below you. You are bouncing and jumping, and you can do it just like that, or you can put on the virtual reality goggles and play different games, different style games that they have. It's a lot of fun. Chelsea has done this. She loves it. We've talked to other people on board. They absolutely love it as well. And the SkyPad has wonderful night aesthetic. It's awesome. There's a stairwell here. I'm going to save this for the very end of the tour. We will be back to this spot. Here as well, they'll have some information playing on the television about the SkyPad when it's open and operating, and then just kind of some crazy chairs and loungers. Sun deck space here on the very back or aft of the ship. It's going to be pretty much a mirror image again on the back side here, except when we get over here, we will find the Ripcord by iFly office and desk. So this is where you will go in and you'll sign up to do the skydiving simulator, which is up there. We'll get to that in just a little bit. But you would go inside here, they'll get you signed up, they'll get you the class, they'll explain how to do everything, all the equipment, all of that jazz is in their Ripcord by iFly. Very similar to the North Star, this used to be completely an included experience. Now some sessions are included with your cruise fare, some come at an additional cost. The additional cost is double the length, but that's something to keep in mind. Get those reservations right when you get on board. And right next to Ripcord by iFly, we will find the rock climbing wall. So they do have several stations there. You climb all the way up and ring the bell here on the starboard side of the ship. And then we will find this art, which I absolutely love. The giant pink cat made of roses. He's got the one ball of yarn down here, but he's wanting the other one up there next to the Odyssey of the Seas sign. Lots of fun, really like that. And then one last thing to show here on this deck. Well, two things, but they're together. One is we have this soccer ball billiards. They have this at Perfect Day at Coca Cola. It's really cool. You're playing billiards or pool, but you're using soccer balls and kicking them instead, which I think is a lot of fun. Of course, chairs, couches, and things like that. And then the other thing is located next to it here on this side. Twister, the hot spot. But it's not Twister because that has a copyright. It's Reach That. Reach That. So spin the wheel there, and essentially, let's be honest, you're playing Twister. One last thing to show here on deck 15, we are at the midship elevators just outside the entrance to the SeaPlex. We are on the port side. Wanted to point out that this is the entrance to Social 180. This is the teenager spot on board. You can see teens 12 through 17. They have all kinds of activities and stuff in here. I am not going to go in because I am sure they are in there right now, and you know, just like we were with Adventure Ocean, the kids want to be respectful, don't want to take in you know, their space or interrupt them. I did want to point out on Anthem, this went up to the Sweet Sundeck, but we saw where that was earlier. This is actually part of Social 180. You can see it there and on the sign outside. So this is actually an outdoor spot for Social 180. We can't access that, but I can show you from outside. So let me show you from a distance what it looks like. So if we look up there, we can see that is the outdoor section, kind of the sun deck section of Social 180. Adventure awaits says the sign. I do see a giant chessboard up there as well. There's some day beds. There's some fun covered little day beds. Just kind of a nice outdoor space for the teenagers up there. And with that, we have essentially completed deck 15. I did want to point out that on the map here, it does show the FlowRider for deck 15. You do access it from deck 15 on those stairs, but it's actually going to basically be up on deck 16, which is our last deck. So let's go ahead and head up to deck 16. But it's worth pointing out, how are we going to get to deck 16? Because if you look, we're on deck 15, and if we look up, the elevators end there. This is the last deck that these elevators here will run to at the midship. So how do we get to deck 16? Well, we could go outside and go up the steps there, or we can head back into the SeaPlex and we can take the stairs in here. So let's do that. Back inside the SeaPlex, we just came down the hall here, right where we entered, and we will find the stairwell here. I'm on the port side of the ship, but they do have it starboard as well. So let's head up, take a look at deck 16. We've ascended the stairs and now we're on deck 16, the upper level of the SeaPlex. I did want to point out, these nets are not always here. They're here now because they were playing pickleball and ping pong, things that might get out of hand and fly up. If they're doing basketball, I'm sure they'd be up as well. But if it's bumper cars or something like that, they don't have these nets up here, so you don't have this obstructed view. But as we turn, we head down the aft of the ship. We are on port side. We will enter Playmakers. You see they have all these TVs along the outside, which is really cool. They have bar rail seating right along the glass here. So you can look down, watch people doing different activities, and then they did put the Jumbotron across on the other side. So of course, there's going to be plenty of tables in here. This is a sports bar and grill on board, so you can get drinks, you can get food. They have a digital dartboard here. TVs abound. We do have billiards as well. One on this side, one on the other side. We have our bar in the middle. We do have tabletop shuffleboard, which is really cool. And you can even dine here on the outside, on the window, by the windows. Get the great view. TVs continuing all along the bar, all above the bar, all the way. Nowhere, no matter where you sit, you're gonna get a great view of a television. Somewhere do have the other billiards table that I mentioned here. Tables and chairs continue throughout. A lot of sports memorabilia strung up different places. They do have booth seating as well. Foosball table here on the end, and just more memorabilia and televisions And then you do have the owner's box. This is a special area. You can see it's roped off here, but there's no additional charge for this. This is just first come, first serve. Look at this. This is one of the nicer ones I've seen. Look at these comfortable like leather seats. I do see USB ports so you can charge your devices. They have drink holders. They have a big screen on this side, 3 smaller ones on that side, big table in the middle. You have your own upgraded speakers in here, and then one of the biggest TVs inside Playmakers right there. So that is Playmakers. Love Playmakers. We are going to eat here later on in this voyage, and we cannot wait for it. And we're going to wrap around here on the back side of the SeaPlex. Wanted to point out that they do have some bar rail seating here as well. The arcade continues over here on, we saw some down below on 15. It's up here on 16 as well on the starboard side. You can see the cat outside. Football toss, a couple of football toss games up here. Wanted to point out this area is really interesting. We haven't done this yet. This is like virtual reality stuff. Like, look, I step on this and it moves. So it's going to have a, yeah, there you go. Stasis Mystical Quest. This is a cost, so it's just like an arcade game. You would have to pay additional for it, but it's going to have some interactive element with these pads. In addition to that, when we go to the next little walled off section, they do have these tabletop games that are interactive. Oh yeah, there is a tap your SeaPass card, so yes, you do have to pay for these as well. But look, they have all kinds of stuff. I love all the kooky seating they have in here. Colorful couches down on the floor, tables. They do have a couple of air hockey, which have the banked sides, which are always fun. No Laughing Madness, unfortunately. If you know us, we have a history with Laughing Madness, but they do have the big bass wheels, the Lane Master, which is like the bowling simulator. There's another football toss over there, and then they do have Pop the Lock and like Keymaster games here, where you can win some prizes. And then this just continues on to the stairwell. On the opposite side, you can also head outside here if you would like. Okay, I said you could head outside here and it wouldn't open, and then I noticed there was a SeaPass card reader, and I look up here, Teens Outdoors. So this goes back out to the Teens deck. Now we actually have to head back downstairs, go back out to the aft of the ship, and head up the stairs outside to show you the upper deck stuff there. All right, we're technically back on deck 15 now because we have to take these stairs outside to go up to the FlowRider. So this is how we'll access, quote unquote, deck 16. And then as the sign suggested, the FlowRider. Right here, do your surf simulating. This is the only one on board. But that's gonna take you up to the Ripcord by iFly. So that, not the check-in, that was back downstairs. But when it's actually time to do it, this is where you'll come. You can come up here to be a spectator when they're doing it. If you're actually participating, I think they usually use those stairs over there that take you from the inside. But this is the tube where they do the skydive simulation right here for Ripcord. So that's going to do it for deck 16. In the back, we now had to head forward to show you the last part of deck 16. Okay, before we head to the forward part to finish deck 16, there's a lot of stairs, and there are back here. But I did notice there's a lift here. There's a lift over there to take you up those stairs. And even on that side, there's a lift to go up those stairs as well. So good to know. Okay, now let's head to the forward part of deck 16. All right, back on deck 16, forward elevators here, because I did want to point out that the forward elevators do go up to deck 16, as you can see there. If you come back to the midship elevators, they only go up to 15, and you have to do this stuff via those stairs that we were showing. And of course, these are not connected, so if you want to go from where we just were outside to over here, you can't transverse. You have to go down to 15, walk across, and then come up, which is what I just did. So one thing to show up here is the Vitality Fitness Center. Of course, this is a gym, right? This is a workout area. So when you come in, they do have towels and wipes right there. They have private consultation rooms, a couple of those right there. They do have like a scale, I guess. It looks really advanced. I'm not sure what all that does. That doesn't look as advanced, but it does look like a scale nonetheless. So they have all the typical equipment that you would expect. Lots of treadmills, things of that nature, pointed out at the panoramic windows in here. Floor to ceiling, which is really great. They even have additional towels over here. They have some free weights, dumbbells with benches, some bench press kind of stuff here, resistance machines, things of that nature. We come down here, this is where you'll find your cycles to do your spinning. They do have additional dumbbells, medicine balls, exercise balls, things like that. over there. They will do some instruction classes here. And then it continues over on the port side as well. A lot of the same stuff that you would see on the starboard side. Water fountains again closed off. Get a better look at that equipment, those balls, foam rollers. They even have some yoga mats here. And the windows just continue throughout, floor to ceiling, resistance machine, treadmills, everything that you would come to expect in a fitness center, gym, whatever you want to call it. We find this little room called the studio, which is also a group instruction area, obviously set up for spin class. A great place to get a workout, Vitality Fitness Center. And as we see here from our map, we have completed all of these different areas. We have completed these areas and the fitness center, and that means that we have completed deck 16. And because that is the highest deck, we have completed the ship tour, minus one little thing. If you remember when we were in the back, I said there was a staircase up by SkyPad. I would wait until the end. Let's head there so I can show you a really cool feature, and we'll wrap up the tour. All right, back on deck 15 in the aft. You see the sign for SkyPad. There's the very back of the ship. I promised we would head up this stairwell. I saved, I don't know if it's the best for last, but it's something pretty cool for last. They don't really have this on other ships. So again, right next to the SkyPad, we head up these stairs. Gonna get a great breeze here. Hopefully the wind doesn't cause the microphone too many issues. But I did want to show this. This is so cool. It's glass floor. So you can look straight down to the side of the ship, to the lifeboats, and to the ocean. And just walk around this. I think it's a really cool feature. Something they didn't have to do, but why not do? Get a great view of the Odyssey sign on this side, and just all the activities going on. And then you can even peek into the SkyPad when that's going on right there. Alright friends, that is going to do it for today's tour of Royal Caribbean's Odyssey of the Seas. We showed you absolutely everything we could. We hope you found it fun. We hope you found it informational. And most of all, we hope it makes you want to sail on board Odyssey of the Seas. And if you're interested in doing that, we can help make that happen. We are travel agents and we never charge a service fee of any kind. Our prices come directly from Royal Caribbean. Sometimes we do have a better deal, but we would love to help you regardless. So feel free to reach out via that travel agent information you can find in the description of this video. And if you're watching this video because you just booked Odyssey of the Seas and you think, oh no, I wish I would have known, no worries. If you booked within the last 30 days directly with Royal Caribbean and you haven't paid in full, you can transfer your booking to our agency at absolutely no cost, and we can help you. Everything stays the same with your reservation, but we can then help you and monitor it, price track, all of those different things. So thank you for joining us for today's tour. If you're interested in more content from Odyssey of the Seas, check out our playlist. We'll have daily vlogs, room tours, this tour, all that fun jazz in there. Once again, thank you for joining us. We're signing off today from Odyssey of the Seas. We'll see you next time. Happy travels!